Endocrine pancreas. In the tail of the pancreas, there are isolated cells, group of cells, which are called islets of Langerhans. In the islets of Langerhans, there are A cell which produce glucagon, which is otherwise called as alpha cells. B cell or beta cells which produce insulin. This glucagon hormone will increase the blood glucose level. Insulin will decrease the blood glucose level. The B cell also produces C peptide. Okay. The amount of C peptide and the amount of insulin will be equal. They will be in a 1:1 ratio. They will be in an equimolar concentration. So it is used in C peptide assay. So in C peptide assay, we can determine the amount of C peptide in our blood that will be equal to the insulin level. Hence it is called as endogenous insulin marker. So hence it is used as endogenous insulin marker. This also produces amylin. This will increase the potent action of insulin. That means the insulin action is increased. There is an analog of amylin which is called pramlintide. Pramlintide. This is an analog of insulin which is given to diabetic patient. It is used in treatment because this pramlintide will increase the action of insulin, hence given to diabetic patient. Okay. Now there is D cell or delta cell which release somatostatin. The somatostatin is a universal inhibitor. It will inhibit the release of glucagon and insulin. Now we are having F cell. It will release pancreatic polypeptide, denoted as PP, pancreatic polypeptide. Now in our beta cell which release insulin, along with insulin there will be zinc. This is for structural stabilization of the insulin molecule. Insulin is a protein with 51 amino acid. Okay. Banting and MacLeod. These are the two persons who got Nobel Prize for insulin. It is having some importance. It is the first protein to be completely sequenced. Sequencing was done by the method developed by Sanger. Hence it is also called Sanger method. It is the first protein to be sequenced completely. The second importance is that with the help of rDNA technology, a large scale production of insulin was made. So insulin, by the use of rDNA technology, a large production of insulin was made. Now coming on to the certain, for the transcription and translation, certain transcription factors is required for insulin. Those transcription factors are HNF, which is called hepatocyte nuclear factor. Hepatocyte nuclear factor. So when this factor it undergo mutation, there will be MODY. MODY means mature onset diabetes young. So this is the most common diabetes seen in the young patient due to the mutation of the HNF factor. Okay. Now we can look onto the aspect how the insulin is released. So when our blood glucose level increases, insulin will decrease the blood glucose level. Hence it is negative feedback regulation. So how it will is released? Okay. Now this is a beta cell of pancreas. We can see the mechanism here. This is a beta cell of pancreas. Here we are having blood vessel. So this is basolateral membrane and this is apical membrane. In the resting state, the resting membrane potential it is minus 90 millivolt. This is beta cell, minus 90 millivolt. So whenever this is because here there is a ATP sensitive potassium channel. ATP sensitive potassium channel. So cells are bags of potassium. So the potassium will go out. As potassium moves out, the resting membrane potential is maintained at minus 90 millivolt. Okay. Now here we are having on the basolateral membrane GLUT2 molecule. GLUT2 molecule. So whenever blood glucose level increases, by diffusion it enters the beta cell of pancreas. So this is considered as glucose sensor. Glucose sensor. So the glucose reaches inside the cell, it undergo metabolism and it will result in ATP production. So when the ATP production increases, it will close the ATP sensitive potassium channel. ATP sensitive potassium channels will be closed. So the potassium will reside here itself. It will lead to depolarization and minus 40 millivolt will be seen. So when it reaches minus 40 millivolt, there are certain calcium channels in the apical side. So this this is voltage sensitive calcium channels. Voltage sensitive calcium channels. So when it reaches minus 40 millivolt, calcium will influx. Calcium will come in. In the beta cell, we are having insulin molecules in vesicles. Also, there is a protein present here, which is called the snare protein. The exocytosis of these vesicles and insulin will be released. Exocytosis. When there is calcium snare protein and ATP are available. So when these three are available, it will lead to exocytosis and the insulin will be released into the blood. Okay, and so there are four processes in this. That is, one is entry of glucose through the GLUT2 transporter. Wait. Entry of glucose through the glucose transporters, closing of potassium channels, opening of calcium channels, and the exocytosis. These are the four processes which are involved in insulin release. Now, two pharmacological aspects discussed here are, when there is ATP sensitive potassium channels. ATP sensitive potassium channels. So when ATP sensitive potassium channels are closed, insulin secretion increases. You can see here, when the ATP sensitive potassium channels are closed, the insulin secretion is increased. So there are certain drugs which is called sulfonylurea. These drugs will close the ATP sensitive potassium channels, okay, and hence increase the insulin secretion. So this is given in treatment for diabetes mellitus. Sulfonylurea is given for diabetes mellitus. As the receptor of sulfonylurea is present in this ATP sensitive potassium channel, this ATP sensitive potassium channel is also called SUR, sulfonylurea receptor. It is also called sulfonylurea receptor. Now, there is ATP sensitive potassium channels. When ATP sensitive potassium channels is opened, then we can see that insulin secretion decreases. The reverse aspect of what we have discussed previously. By opening, the insulin secretion decreases. There is a drug which opens this channel, and that drug is called diazoxide. This is a drug which can be used in treatment of insulinoma, where there is a need to decrease the secretion of insulin. Diazoxide. Now discussing about the action of insulin. The insulin which is released from the beta cell of pancreas will bind to a receptor, insulin receptor, which is called tyrosine kinase receptor. It is having two subunit, two alpha subunit and two beta subunit. The enzyme tyrosine kinase is associated with this beta subunit. Okay, and the receptors are present in, we are having skeletal muscles, heart, and adipocyte. The receptors are present here. So when the insulin bind to these receptors, the level of GLUT4 molecule will be increased. GLUT4 molecule will be increased, and hence by facilitated diffusion, glucose will be taken by the cells, and it will result in decrease in blood glucose level. When insulin is released, so when insulin is released into the blood glucose level will decrease. And one more point is there, the blood potassium level will also decrease. So in hyperkalemic patients, in hyperkalemia means our blood potassium level is increased. We are giving treatment by giving insulin so that the blood potassium level is decreased. But we are not giving insulin alone because the blood glucose level will decrease. Hence we are giving a combination of insulin and dextrose. We are giving treatment as a combination of insulin and dextrose. These two functions are occur in a fraction of seconds. Hence these actions can be termed as a rapid action because it will act in a fraction of seconds. It is also having the insulin when it reaches in the blood. It is also having long-term effects, that means which occur in hours and days. The effect is anabolic effect. Insulin is having many anabolic effect. It will stimulate glycogen synthesis. So we can write glycogen synthesis. Lipid genesis, that means production of lipogenesis, and it also stimulate glycolysis. So the blood glucose level will be decreased. Now this will have certain inhibitory functions. These are inhibitory. There are certain inhibitory functions. That means it will inhibit gluconeogenesis. It inhibits lipolysis, reverse of what we have discussed. Glycogenolysis. These three are things that we have already discussed. Now it will also inhibit ketogenesis from liver. So formation of ketone bodies from the liver will be inhibited by insulin molecule.